Yeah, my high school teacher reached out to me not too long ago, and inspired me to take some action on an idea that I had for a long time, which is Fun Day Photographer.
So I'm just going to jump right into the story because I'm sure you want to know. So about 2 months ago or so, I was trying to brainstorm a handful of different creative ways to really engage my students, because as of right now, I'm currently a fully online high school photography teacher, and being an online educator is super challenging. And it's really hard to get students to be engaged. Students don't have a ton of incentive to be engaged. And it's hard to create that connection with students. And if you've ever taught online, I'm sure that you probably understand some of the frustrations. So I was trying to brainstorm some creative ways, and I had an idea. I was thinking about different photographers who have inspired me over these past 5 years of being a high school photography teacher, and a handful of different photographers came to mind. And what did I do? So I got my keyboard out, I went to the old Google, and I found about 6 different photographers / YouTubers who have really inspired me to become a better photography teacher and just really learn and grow as a photographer myself. I sent those emails out, not really expecting a response from a lot of them because they're busy. They have full-time jobs as YouTubers and didn't really expect to hear back. So I waited patiently on my computer and sat there waiting to hear replies, and it took about a day, and I had my first couple of replies that said, sorry, thanks for thinking of us, but at this time we don't have the time or capacity to be able to meet with your students. So Jared responded with immediate yes, what time, what, where, how do we do it? So I shot him out dates, and he was in my class within 2 days.
Good morning. I'm Jared. I have a site called fronosphoto.com, and I've been a photographer since I was 13 years old.
And he came on to my class. He spoke to all of my classes and kind of just told his story of why he became a photographer, and kind of encouraged my students if they were thinking about pursuing photography or pursuing their passion, any of their passions for that matter. It was really cool for Jared to come into my class and my students to have the opportunity to hear from someone who is a full-time photographer and YouTuber. It was just a really eye-opening experience for me, myself, and my students to give them some sort of hope, some sort of aspirations that they kind of inspired them to be able to go out and follow their dreams. And it was really, really good conversation that I think sparked a lot of interesting topics and points. So last night I received an email from Jared, and he asked if he could have a Zoom conference call with me. So I absolutely said yes, and I jumped on Zoom this morning, and here's our conversation. Students will add me on Facebook after they've graduated from school and be like message me and be like, hey, because of your class, I never knew that I had this passion for photography, and now I'm kind of pursuing it, which is just blows my mind that students who come into my class not having any desire to take photos come in and they find this passion, this this outlet for creativity that they never knew they had, which is really, really cool and exciting to see some of those students pursuing that.
All right. So I launched a new initiative.
Okay.
It's called Fund a Photographer. It launched yesterday.
Okay.
I've got 5 kits for you from Canon.
Really?
To send your way. They, my high school teacher reached out to me not too long ago, and inspired me to take some action on an idea that I had for a long time, which is Fun Day Photographer.
Right.
Canon got on board with 50 bodies and 50 lenses.
That's
my
crazy.
teacher was the first to get 5. You're the next to get 5.
That's incredible.
And so we've got 80Ds and 70Ds and
Right.
SL2s and T6Is. And so I'll probably send you one of each plus an extra one
Right.
of another one. And we've got some great lenses. We got basically an 18 to 135 kit lens, which is fine. We've got 16 to 35 2.8. There's 70 to 300 L.
That's crazy.
I can send you out a 70 to 200 2.8. It's a $2,000 lens.
It's an incredible lens.
And a 24 to 105.
That's absolutely, I don't even know what to say. I'm excited to be able to get that equipment in students' hands, because I mean, some of these kids have never had the opportunity to really even have a nice camera in their hands. And for me, like when I was in high school, I had the opportunity to take a photography class, and being able to hold the 70-200 was like, man, this is so cool. This is like what the pros are using, and it kind of really like made me fall in love with photography and kind of sparked that passion. So the fact that you are doing this is absolutely incredible. And I just want to say thank you. I don't even know how to react to this.
It is about getting the gear into kids' hands so that they can see what creativity can be.
Right.
Because I didn't have that gear when I started either. And
right.
So we also have some memory cards for you to go with the cameras, and I can probably send a couple of camera bags out from Think Tank as well. The cards are from ProGrade Digital.
That's awesome, man. I'm speechless, really. I'm not like a crazy expressive, emotional guy, but like, honestly, super thankful and grateful that like you're one of the most like authentic and real photographers out there. And when I started my career in photography, teaching photography 5 years ago, your videos were some of the first videos that I watched on YouTube. Like I got my job and I was like, I have no idea how to teach photography. Like I know how to take pictures and I know how to use camera settings, but like I jumped on YouTube and I found like the videos that you taught on composition from your backyard, and like those were just some of the first videos that kind of taught me how to teach photography. So like this like coming full circle is really cool and exciting.
So that's why I wanted you to get on the phone today on the Zoom.
On the Zooms. Yeah, I mean I really appreciate that. Because I mean without having access to gear, I mean some of these kids who have this untapped potential could, I mean, be untapped, right? So, I mean, I think photography is just such a cool outlet for some of those kids who are not like for me, I did not love like painting or drawing. I wasn't like super into that. But the first time I picked up a camera, I was like, wow, I'm like kind of good at this, even though I was terrible. But that's really, really cool that you're doing this.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about your school? You know, where it is and just something about it?
Yeah. So I teach at a school in Kalamazoo, Michigan. So it's Southwest Michigan at a low-income school where I think it's like 95% of our students are free and reduced lunch. And most of these students are coming from backgrounds where they don't come from a whole lot. So having the opportunity to come and get hands-on experience with professional camera equipment is something that without my class, without people like you, that they would never have the opportunity to learn these things, which is really cool. So yeah, it's really cool to see kids that don't come from a whole lot get excited about my class. Kids who maybe are struggling in math and then the normal electives come to my class and are really like find a passion. It's just really kind of, I don't know, it gets me excited for what I do, and it keeps me pursuing what I'm doing and helping these students learn to find their passion and their voice through photography.
Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I'll get your information on the email and we'll pack it up and ship it on out.
That's awesome, man. I really appreciate that. I mean, I don't even know what to say, but I'm really grateful, and I think that this is going to be really, really awesome addition to our program.
I can't wait to see what the kids capture, really.
Yeah, we'll definitely make sure to get some images to you once we start taking pictures in the fall. Just thinking about just one last thing that I just really like appreciate the fact that the point you brought up when you talked to my students, the point where you said just ask, because you never know what the end result's going to be, and it never hurts to ask. And that kind of has just hit home with me lately, just like because you never know what's going to happen. Like, I had no idea. Like, I wasn't even expecting a response from you. So I think that's really cool. And I think you were able to inspire me, to absolutely me, but like my students, like my student who joined my call. Actually, so one of my students, so the story was, one of my students who was in the class with you, like, texted one of my other students who was like, hey, like, this guy is in class and he's talking to us. And he's like, oh my gosh, I know him. He's like one of my favorite YouTubers. And I actually texted him. I was like, hey, like, Jared's in class today. Like, do you want to join? So he actually joined the class. He wasn't even in. So it was really cool for him to have that experience.
Nice.
So
very cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna get back to the getting back to, and I'm glad we could connect and that you reached out, and now that I have this ability to get you guys some kits.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Looking forward to it, and I'll definitely be hopefully sending you some images in the near future.
Awesome. All right,
have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Have fun in class.
I will. Thanks, Jared.
Right. Later.
At the end of the day, I hope that my students become better photographers, but ultimately I hope that they become better people, because that's really what we need in this world. And it's really cool to see Jared come in and give us all of this camera gear and just really inspire me and others to be generous and to give and to reach out and to do what you're passionate about, because at the end of the day, life's short. So get out there and do what you're passionate about. I just want to say thank you so much to Jared and his whole crew for being able to pull this off. And thank you guys. I just also want to say thank you to Canon for donating so much camera equipment to high schoolers and high school programs that may be a little less fortunate than others. It's just an awesome opportunity for my students and others like my students. And I'm really excited to see what we're going to be able to produce with the equipment that we're going to get. If you found value in this video, I would love for you to consider subscribing and hit that like button, and we will see you guys in the next video.